A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Dear student, Assalamu alaikum. Class 10, subject physics, chapter number 13. The name of the chapter is Electrostatics. Topic of today's lecture will be 13.9 and 13.10, which are on pages 82 and 83. I repeat, class 10, subject physics, chapter number 13. We are doing the name of the chapter is Electrostatics. Topic of today's lecture will be 13.9 and 13.10. Please open page 82. The 13.9 is on page number 82. Please open 10th class textbook, page number 82. Chapter number 13, Electrostatics. Today we are going to study page number, please open page number 83, application of electrostatics. As we discussed in our last lecture, use the capacitors. I told you where the capacitors are basically used. So in today's lecture, we will see the applications of electrostatics. I told you when we started the chapter, I told you what is electrostatic. In the electrostatics, it's a branch of physics which deals with the charges at rest. It is a branch of physics in which we deal with the charges at rest. So now we are going to study the application where the electrostatics, the charges at rest are applied, or where its application in our daily life. So first of all, static electricity has important application in our daily, everyday lives. If you open page number 83, this is on page number 83, and I'm studying application of electrostatics. This topic where my cursor is pointing, I'm reading this one, application of electrostatics. So static electricity has important application in our everyday life, which include, what are the applications? Photocopying is based on the electrostatic. Car painting is based on electrostatic. Extracting dust from dirty carpet and from chimney of industry machines. These are all the applications of the static electricity, or the branch of electrostatic. Electrostatic is the branch of physics which deals with the charges at rest. So where is mainly applied? Electrostatic is applying in photocopying machine. The photocopying machine working on the same principle of electrostatic, charges at rest, and our car printing is done by using this static electricity. Extracting dust particles, dust from dirty carpet. If we have a dirty carpet and if we want to remove the dust particles from it, we use the application of the electrostatic. And from chimney of the industrial machine, we want to remove the dust particles from the industrial machine, we use the application of the electrostatic. So our first application is based on electrostatic, is called electrostatic air cleaner. How electrostatic air cleaner works, I'll show you now. This is the first application of electrostatic air cleaner. This is the electrostatic air cleaner. Figure 13.21 is based. This is the electrostatic air cleaner inside. This is the electrostatic air cleaner inside. It consists of a metallic plates. This is outlet and this is inlet, and we have other. These two are metallic plates. This is in outlet and this is inlet, and this is our dust particle, and this is our dust particle, and we have positive charges and the negative charges. As I told you, the properties of positive and negative charges are they attract each other, but oppositely charged, same charges, like charges repel each other, but unlike charges attract. So one has a positive charge and one has a negative charge. So air cleaner, one has a positive charge and one has a negative charge. So they will attract each other. So an electrostatic air cleaner is used in homes to relieve the discomfort of allergy sufferers. Air mixed with dust and pollen enters the device across the positive charge. So pollen enter from this inlet. This is called the inlet where the our pollen enters mixed with the mixed air mixed with dust and pollen enters the device across the positively charged mesh 13.21. This is the enters from it, right? The airborne particles become positively charged when they make contact with the mesh. Then they pass through a second negatively charged mesh. The electrostatic force of attraction between the positively charged particles and in the air and the negatively charged mesh causes the particles to deposit out of the surface of the mesh. So they enter from here and they repel from here or they exit from here. So we have positively charged enter from here and they exit from here. So positive charge and negative charge attract each other. Then they pass through a second positively charged mesh. The electrostatic force of attraction between the positively charged particles and in the air and the negatively charged mesh causes the particles to deposit out on the surface of the mesh. Through the process, we can remove a very high percentage of contaminant from the air stream. So this is the application. Electrostatic air cleaner is based on the principle of electrostatics. So our positive charge and negative charge, which are at the static charges, so they attract each other. So we can remove the high percentage of contaminant from the air stream with the application of electrostatics. So this is the first application of electrostatics. So our second application of electrostatic is for car printing. So you can see in the figure at 13.2. So in this schematic diagram of electrostatic spray painting system, car is negatively charged and the spray gun is positively charged. So the person standing over here he is holding the gun. So this is positively charged gun and the car is negatively charged. And when he sprays positive charges over the negative charge, they attract each other, and the car paint stick on the car. So positive charge and negative charge stick on the car. Here, this is the conveyor where the car is moving. We can rotate the car. We can behind the car. We can forward the car on this conveyor. So when we when the sprayer is spraying the car, with the help of the pen, moving the car behind and ahead, or he can rotate the car as well. So that it is easy for him to spray on all the cars. So the principle behind spraying is the application of the electrostatic. So our gun has a positively charge and the car has a negatively charge. So when the spray from the gun is fired, and then it stick on the negatively charge. So after some time when it is dry out, so our car has a paint with the application of it. This is the second application of the electrostatic. So car painting is done on this principle. Electrostatic powder painting. The automobiles manufacturers use static electricity to paint new cars. The manufacturer of the automobiles, cars manufacturers, they use the principle of static electricity to paint a new car. What is the principle? The body of the car is charged and then paint is given the opposite charge by the charging the nozzle of the sprayer. They charge the nozzle of the sprayer and it will excrete positive charge. Okay, and the car has a negative charge. Due to the mutual repulsion, charged particles are attracted toward the oppositely charged part and are evenly distributed on the surface of the object. The charged paint particles stick to the body just like a charged balloon sticks to the wall. You can see when we have a balloon, if we charge it, it will stick on the wall. Similarly, the same principle happens when the positive charge expel in the paints, positive charge expelling the paint with the help of the nozzle, they stick on the car negatively charged. So the positive charge and negative charge they attract each other, so the paint stick on the car. It sticks much better to the car and is smoother because it is uniformly distributed. This is a very effective, efficient, and emotional way of painting automobiles on large scale. If we want to paint the automobiles on a very large scale, if we have a lots of car to paint, so we use this principle electrostatic electricity to paint the new cars. If we, because in industry there are so many cars manufacturers, if they uh, paint the cars manually, it will take a lot of time, but with the help of static electricity, they paint the car, and in this way, they in the less time they paint the more cars. So they use this is the second application of the electrostatic painting. This is called electrostatic powder painting. This gun has a positive charge, and this car has negative charge. When the air pressures from the guns has a positive charge blows away, it paints the car quickly. So this is our second example of or second application of electrostatic powder painting. Now I move towards the other topic, which is the last topic of this chapter. That is 13.10. 13.10 on page number 85. Please open page number 85 as we are going to do 13.10, some hazard of static electricity. So when you see the electrostatic application, there are some uses of electrostatic. As I told you, air cleaner is based on the electrostatic, and car painting is done by the static electricity. These are the useful application of the electrostatic. But there are some hazards, there are some disadvantages of static electricity as well. We are going to study now, which is 13.10. These are called has some hazards of static electricity. What are the static electricity? As you can see, the phenomena of lightning occurs with a large quantity of electric charge, which builds up in a heavy thunderclouds. You might have seen the phenomena of lightning occurs due to the large quantity of electric charge, which builds up in a heavy thunderclouds. Um, the thunderclouds are charged by friction. The thunder clouds are charged by the friction between the water molecules in the thunder cloud and their molecules. When the charge on the thunder cloud is sufficiently high, it induces opposite charge on the object present on the ground, giving rise to the strong electric field between the cloud and the ground. So clouds are positively charged. Here the same principle, cloud has a positively charged and our ground is negatively charged. So you know there's a thunder lightning comes, it can damage the people standing on the streets, the walls. It can damage the walls. It can damage the building. The lightning in the thunder cloud damage the building. So how they damage the building? The reason behind is, so thunder cloud is the charge the friction between the water and the molecules between the water molecules in the thunder cloud and their molecules. They create the charge, which is called a positive charge, and then when there is an excess amount of charge present in the thunder clouds, it falls down on the ground, and the ground has negative charge. So, well, you know, there is a force, there is a force of attraction between positive charge and negative charge. So it can damage, this lighting can damage the buildings, the people standing in the streets, or so many things it can damage. So it includes, so these are the it prevent how can we prevent this damaging causing from the thunderstorm, thunder lightning. To prevent lighting from the damaging tall buildings, lightning conductors are used. The purpose of lightning conductors is to provide a safe discharge path with a large amount of negatively charge in the air to flow from the top of the building to the earth. In this way, the chances of lightning damage due to the sudden discharge can be minimized. We cannot 100% reduce the hazards caused by the lightning, but we can minimize this. For to minimize the damage caused by the lightning, uh, what we use the lightning conductor. So lightning conductors are placed on the tall buildings to avoid the lightning. For they basically lightning conductors are safe discharge of that positively charged or negatively charged particles coming from the lightning. So they provide a safe path, and they do not harm the people standing on the walls, or they do not harm the buildings by through they provide basically the path for the safe discharge. So the reason behind is electricity. This type static electricity causing from the lightning can cause the damages to the building, damages to the damage to the people standing in the or the cattle or the all the things in the streets standing in the streets. These lightning can cause the hazards to the people. But to avoid to minimize this, we cannot 100% finish this lightning, but we can minimize the its hazards by placing the lightning conductors on the tall building. Lightning conductors are basically placed on the tall building. Whenever the lightning, whenever the charge in the lightning comes to fall down, they fall down on the lightning conductors, and these lightning conductors provide a safe discharge of this charge without causing any harm to the uh, buildings or any harm to the people standing in the streets. So this is the hazard. This is one of the hazards of the static electricity. Now, fire and explosions. This lightning can cause also the fire and explosions. How they can static electricity is a major cause of. So I am now on here. Static electricity is a major cause of fires and explosions at many places. Fire or an explosion may occur due to the excess buildup of the electric charges produced by friction. Static electricity can be related by the friction of gasoline being pumped into a vehicle or container. It can also be produced when we get out of the car or remove an article of clothing. Static charges are dangerous. If static charges are allowed to discharge to the areas where the where there is a petrol vapor, a fire can occur. So I told you lightning, static electricity is harmful for us, very dangerous for us, very dangerous for the human beings, very dangerous for the tall building. So if it is placed, if there is a petrol pump and we have a static electricity falls down on the petrol pump, it can cause the explosion or fires can occur. So to minimize, we can minimize the static electricity, but we cannot 100% 100% away from it, but we can minimize the static electricity by using the lightning conductors. So he is saying that static electricity can also cause the fire and explosions some places. If we have that by the friction, we have a static charges in the by the friction. So if there are lots of static charges in the friction in the air, so when it falls down, so they can and in such places where the fire where the petrol pump is, so it can cause the fire or explosions in the places. So if we have advantages, so many advantages, and we have some hazards of static electricity as well. So student, I hope you understand this topic well. So I'm going to this is the topic. Please memorize the topic covered in today's lecture and write them down once. So I repeat what we did today. We studied the application of electrostatic. I told you electrostatic means charges at rest because this is the branch of physics which deals with the charges at rest. So in this topic, we studied about where the electrostatic is basically applying, where are the applications of electrostatics are. Mainly, we use electrostatic in photocopying carpenting, extracting dust particles, dirty dust from dirty carpets, or from chimney of industrial machinery. These are all the application of electrostatic. So electrostatic has some advantages also, and it has some disadvantages as well. So this is the electrostatic air cleaner. I told you this electrostatic air condition cleaner is based on the principle of electrostatic charges at rest or static electricity. Or our electrostatic powder painting is also done with the application of electrostatic. So one has the positive charge, this gun has a positive charge, and the car has a negative charge. So positive and negative charges attract each other. So in this way, automobile manufacturers use this type of car painting to paint the cars on large scale. So the principle of this you can see in the this is the conveyor belt where the conveyor belt where the car is hanging or moving behind or forward, or it can be rotated as well in order to done the electrostatic powder painting. So one has a positive charge and one has a negative charge. You can see in the schematic diagram of electrostatic spray painting system. Car is negatively charged and spray gun is positively charged. As drop has same charge and repels and gives the fine mist of spray. This will give the positive spray and this will give the negative spray. They will and the car paint will stick on the car. Positive charge and negative charge will be deposited on the car. So by the application of electrostatic, we can paint the large number of cars on a car in the less time with the application of electrostatic. So then we studied if we have so many advantages of electrostatic, then there are some disadvantages of electrostatic electricity as well. The disadvantage of the static electricity is it is dangerous. When there is a lightning occurs, you might have seen when there is a lightning occurs, it has a lot of friction and it has a positive charge. When it falls down on the ground, the ground has negative charge. So positive and negative charges are attracted. So it causes a lot of dangers for other people. It will cause a lot of dangers on the earth. So many tall buildings can damage, or the people standing in the streets, or they can also be harmed, or cattle can also be harmed with this lightning stream. In order to save discharge of the static electricity, so in some tall buildings, they use the lightning conductors. So the function of the lightning conductor is whenever the lightning falls on these buildings, so it provides a safe discharge path for the flow of the lightning. So it without harming any building, any tall building. But if we don't have the lightning conductors installed on the tall building, what will happen? The lightning when it falls down on the tall building, it can damage it. Or when it falls down in the streets, the people can also be damaged. So lightning conductor is placed on the tall building in order to avoid in order to prevent the harmful effect of the static electricity. So static electricity can be dangerous for us as well. So it provides so many advantages. We can paint the car. It provides the electrostatic air cleaner. It is used in the photocopy machine. It is used in car painting, photocopy machine, extracting dust particles from the carpets. There are so many advantages of the electrostatic, but on the other hand, side by side, it has disadvantages as well. I told you lighting is the disadvantages of static electricity. So static electricity has advantages as well as disadvantages. So explosion can also cause fire and explosion can cause with the static electricity where there is a lot of charge friction in the air. So when it falls down on the petrol pump, so it can cause the fires. On fires and explosions can cause as well. cause the death of so many people. So this is the disadvantages of the or hazard of the static electricity. So student, I hope you understand these two topics, electrostatic application of electrostatics 13.9 we did, and 13.10 some hazards of static electricity. And your homework of today is please memorize the topic covered in today's lecture and write them down once. Uh, if you still have any questions regarding today's lecture, please feel free to ask questions. As we are in our next lecture, we will try to do the MCQs and the numericals. So if you still have questions regarding today's lecture, please feel free to ask questions. Thank you. Ji Fatima, Habibullah, Harun, Yunus Shamsi, any questions regarding today's lecture? Please feel free to ask us.
No sir, clear है.
चलें ठीक है, शुक्रिया. Fatima,